$1,000 bottles of wine becoming commonplace? I don't think so. Sales are down, the prices are up, and making wine in Armenia, it's a thing, and you're going to be surprised at how good it can be. All that and more on This Week Uncorked. Hello and welcome to episode 12 of This Week Uncorked for Monday, October 7th, 2024. I'm Brett Martin from Corkage, your number one source for finding corkage fees at your favorite restaurant, as well as wine reviews, and restaurant reviews. Please stop by Corkage and check out your favorite restaurant's corkage. With that, let's get right on into the news. This was a tough week for going through and finding wine stories. It was crazy. It was negative. It was doom and gloom. It was, anyway, I'm going to have a couple of them in here because I guess we have to. But the California Farm Bureau, we already talked about how France is just having a horrible time, basically says that, it's a brutal wine market right now, leaving a lot of people in peril. Bottom line is that a lot of farmers farm the grapes and then they sell them to wine suppliers and they're under contracts. And those contracts, you can have binding contracts or people have an option to buy your grapes. Well, nobody's buying grapes. And so it's just awful. So you've got people that are selling off vineyards. Anyway, the farmers are suffering, especially in the Central Valley, that whole Lodi area up there. There's some issues. So hopefully people start buying some more wine. But I guess, if you're paying $1,000 a bottle, maybe people are going to buy a lot of wine. And that kind of takes us into our next story, which is Wine Searcher has the most expensive Napa wines of 2024. It's funny in reading the article. A decade ago, the U.S. editor was kind of saying, hey, how long will it take before Napa has a $1,000 bottle of wine? He was kind of joking. 10 years later, there's a lot of them that are out there that are in that $1,000 range. So if you I just picked a few from the list, so Screaming Eagle is currently going for $4,204. And we talked about this before. That's for their Cabernet Sauvignon. Their Sauvignon Blanc, which we laughed at a few weeks ago on this, is $34.97. That's got to be one heck of a Sauvignon Blanc, I would guess, right? Realm Cellars has the Absurdity Proprietary Red, $13.52. Schaefer Vineyards has got their Premier Napa Valley Sunspot Vineyard Cabernet Sauvignon for $1,300. Schaefer also has something called the Double Diamond. A couple of years ago, it won Wine of the Year over at Wine Spectator. And you can pick that one up for like $90. So, you could get 13 bottles of that, 14 bottles of that, or one bottle of this other Schaefer. But wine prices are exploding. They're kind of out of control. We just got back from a trip, and I had the pleasure of having Alpha Omega. This is their Era. It's a Bordeaux blend. It's like 88% Cabernet Sauvignon, and then a mix of Cab Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec. Excellent. $420. Worth it? No. Great wine. Great. Amazing. But there are also amazing wines in there at that $75. It's my opinion. A lot of people might say, yes, it's worth it. Not to me, but I did get to try it. I didn't pay for it. So that worked out really, really well. It was great. Anyway, so with that, let's talk about our best guy, Rex Pickett and Sideways. If you don't know, you can go to rexpickettbooks.com and use the code CORK10 and you'll get 10% off site-wide on everything on Rex's website. He'll autograph the books for you. He'll autograph posters for you. It's absolutely fantastic. So head over to rexpickettbooks.com and check that out. We were just on a trip. Corkage was up to Napa and Sonoma, and we sat down with Rex Pickett and did about a 2-hour interview during which we were doing a blind tasting of Merlot. It was so much fun. He was such a great sport. We laughed so hard. Hopefully that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. We'll get that interview out there, but you'll want to look for that because it was a lot of fun. And, if you've seen the movie, the blind tasting of Merlot will be interesting as well. All right, with that, let's get back on into the news. Another quasi-negative story here. Direct-to-consumer wine shipments fall 9% in August, while the price of wine goes up 10% to $40.74 a bottle. So this decreased demand continues while the prices continue to rise. Something's completely out of balance here. People are no longer buying as much wine as they did. Granted, there is a glut. There's a lot of wine out there, and you've got a lot of choices, and there are imports, and it's, everybody's got their reasons for why this is happening. But, I was actually talking with somebody about why don't you drink wine? And younger, they were in their 20s, and it's price. Cocktails are the big thing. Spirits are the big thing with basically anybody under the age of 40, it seems. What's the reason for that? Well, they can buy a really, really decent bottle of, tequila or scotch or whatever for $50, and it's going to last you a while. So gin, vodka, they're all reasonably priced compared to, you get 24 drinks out of one bottle of spirits as opposed to maybe 5 glasses out of a bottle of wine, and it's usually gone in a day. So anyway, somehow quality wine needs to get made at kind of a lower price point. We'll see if the wine industry solves for it. I think they will. They've been around quite a while. Hey, we're going to end the news with a great article over at Paste, where that last article was at Wine Business, by the way. But anyway, over at Paste, about the father and daughter reviving Armenia's ancient wine culture. This is Vahe, I think is how I pronounce it, and Amy Kushgarian. And they were actually featured in a movie called The Cup of Salvation. It's on Psalm TV. Jason Wise was the director of it. He's the guy that did all the Psalm movies. He did Psalm 1, 2, 3. So if you've ever seen those, you can check it out. But The Cup of Salvation is amazing. They've done some crazy things. In the movie, you see them smuggling grapes out of Iran to make this Molana wine, which is absolutely amazing. It is from the Rasha grape. It's a dry red 2021, 14% alcohol. It's killer. This is just a killer wine. I picked up 6 of these because there weren't many made, and we had one, and I just want to let them sit. I let them sit for a few more years. But their winery is called Kush, and they basically do a absolutely beautiful sparkling rosé, traditional method, really good stuff, made in Armenia. That's where they actually made the Iranian wine from Iranian grapes. Just great stuff. This 12% alcohol, and it's from the Areni grape. And that's kind of the big grape over in Armenia is Areni. And if you haven't had it, I highly recommend, if you go to Storica Wines, there's going to be a link in the show notes here. They kind of feature a lot of Armenian wines. This is Zalal, and this Areni grape is great. It's great. We're going to do a blind tasting of Areni and see what people think of it. I'm not going to tell them what grape it is, but we've got about 6 different manufacturers, all out of Armenia, all making that Areni grape. Going to be super fun. But check out Storica Wines. Support this family. If you can find a bottle of this, if they have it, I highly recommend you get it. And if not, all the Areni wines, they're fabulous. It's really, really interesting wine. So shout out to these guys. I'm glad this Paste is the name of the website I found on this. I'm glad they did a very nice feature on these guys because they deserve it. And if you get a chance, see the movie. Go subscribe to Psalm TV. It's like $4 or $5 a month or something like that. It's just all wine. If you're into wine, subscribe to Psalm TV. You will love it. All right. And with that, let's get into our wine and winery of the week. Francisco Rubio. He basically created Bodega F Rubio in the early 2000s, kind of like a second act in his life. And it is one of those wineries that you just have to stumble across. It's way out in the middle of nowhere, dirt roads. Anyway, you get out there, absolutely really, really nice place. Very decent wines. We just loved it. They were just so hospitable. They gave us a tour, took us around. Their food was amazing. They're doing some really interesting fermentation, steel tanks, other things. It was just unexpected, surprisingly wonderful afternoon in Valle de Guadalupe. So we talk about that a lot. That's down in Baja, Mexico, just about an hour kind of northeast of Ensenada. But fantastic. You get a chance, go down there. be sure to check out F Rubio Winery and Vineyards. It's really, really, really good. I don't even have any of their wine anymore because we drank it all, everything we bought. That's always a good sign that you love it. And it was one of those, all their wines are kind of ready to drink. So worth giving it a try. Also, they make a wine, if you do go down there, which is called Palomino Fino. And really, really crazy wine. It is made from the Palomino grape, which is normally used in sherry, and Chenin Blanc. Blend them together, and you get this Hernencia Palomino Fino, an absolutely delicious wine. We scored it 91 points. I don't have any more to show you a bottle, but it was fantastic. So check that out. And now let's go to our restaurant and Corkage of the week. All right, from Baja to Texas. Kind of the same thing, depending on what part of Texas you're in. Anyway, this is Lakeway, Texas. This is just out in the outskirts of Austin, Texas. It's kind of a big reservoir lake out there, beautiful homes around it. The reservoir's just been going up and down during the drought. It was kind of low when we were out there. But some really nice restaurants, some nice places to stay. I'd check on the lake conditions as to what the height is if you were to go out that direction. But we've stumbled across the Grove Wine Bar and Kitchen, and it was so good. We went there not once, but we went there twice because we had such a good time at this place. Absolutely amazing wine list, great food, great service. You cannot go wrong with the Grove Wine Bar and Kitchen in Lakeway, Texas. There's really not much more I can say about it. So if you're in Austin, head out over there and give it a try. I'm getting hungry just looking at these pictures again. Anyway, so head over there. They don't allow corkage. They're a wine bar. So no, you can't bring your own wine into a wine into a wine bar. Just doesn't work. And they just sell them to you for retail prices anyway, because they're actually a retail shop for wine. So well worth it. Give it a try. Check it out. And next time you're down in the Austin area, you'll love it. All right. I want to thank everybody so much for stopping by, visiting our show. As always, we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. And if you've got any restaurants you'd like us to review, wines you think we should take a look at, please head over to the website and drop us a line. Thanks so much.